The Super Bowl, or whatever. I'm not American. World's biggest cereal bowl. Oh, nobody's gonna be horny after this. This is what made me asexual. My mom dipped me by my heel into the world's biggest bowl of cornflakes, and here I am. Amazing tags. My ankle is so fucking horny though. A Victorian. Saving this for the next time someone innocently asks me what Tumblr is. Start every phone call with, "My phone is about to die." Then you can hang up whenever you want. Skeletor will return with more introvert tips. It's fun reading writers who clearly grew up in suburban, urban environments as someone who grew up on a farm, because they're always like, oh, it was so creepy, woods at night, eerily breathtaking, something was living in there. And it's like, yeah, that'll be the deer. City person writing a creepy forest. They heard a sound. Rural person writing a creepy forest. They heard no sound. Exactly! To be totally fair to Willy Wonka, at least a couple of those candy factory casualties involved kids deliberately circumventing reasonable safeguards, sometimes aided and abetted by the parents who were supposed to be supervising them. What happened is, at most, 60% his fault. Oompa, loompa, doopity dare, the court finds you breached your duty of care. Oompa, loompa, doopity disc, that's what the courts call assumption of risk. Oompa, loompa, doopity doo, only a partial judgment for you. Oompa, loompa, doopity doubt, the rest of the class action lawsuit is hereby thrown out. Don't let the world fool you. Consistent kindness is the most quietly powerful thing. If you ever want to engage in villainy and undermine the social order, be especially kind to the people society has rejected. Care about the ones the world would convince you don't deserve your kindness. I genuinely mean this when I say to you, the ultimate act of rebellion is insisting on compassion and grace in a compassionless world. Disruptive compassion. Reblogging because I have a lot of feelings about this and because I believe very strongly in that the most punk rock and badass thing you can do is to live your life with aggressive empathy and kindness. Fred Rogers was the essence of punk. You can't change my mind. Visited a physical therapist today, re my messed up back. We established that I am shockingly flexible in the psoas, but I, quote, have to work on my glute stability. That's right, I've been diagnosed with weak butt. I'm a weak-ass artist. An artist with a weak ass. I've got ifs and ands, but no but. All my gluteuses are minimus. I have an inferior posterior. My rear's in arrears. My buns are underbaked. I'd say it'll be the end of my back, but to be fair, that's all an ass is already. Alright, I'm done. You've been sitting on those a while, haven't you? Points at you! Yes! Things I like about this decal on a restaurant window. The insane orange waiter, that he's carrying his plates in the air like a strong man. The couple looks like this isn't the first time he's done this, but it's easier to just let it happen at this point. The sign says, pasta, as if he's screaming it like a Frankenstein, but he's holding a plate of an entire chicken and a plate of wine glasses. There's 3 wine glasses. One's for him. This makes me laugh to the point of tears every time I see it. The thing that distinguishes Tumblr shitposts from shitposts on other social media platforms isn't the content, it's the register. The hairpin code switching between very formal and very vulgar speech. The kind of speech that will use the words increasingly and fuck trumpet in the same sentence. It's the Homestuck accent. Thank you so much. This is the absolute worst way you could have described this speech. But it's true. UC or ER. I stepped on a bee. Urgent care. I stepped on a beehive. Emergency care. I need antibiotics. Urgent care. I need antivenom. Emergency care. UTI. Urgent care. MRI. Emergency care. thump, urgent care. Thump, 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 emergency care. This is actually so helpful because as an American living in late-stage capitalism, where most people have zero health coverage except for the emergency room, the entire purpose of the ER has lost all meaning on most people. Tragic. 37 clowns were killed today in a devastating one-car pileup. The funeral has only one casket. It's what they would have wanted. This is so sad. I might start crying. Pulls out a handkerchief, pulls out a handkerchief, pulls out a... If you don't decouple your drive to create from your desire for attention, you will go insane. Simple as. You will never feel satisfied because you will always want more, and you will feel perpetually bitter that you did not get what you are owed. It's an unpopular opinion, but it is absolutely and completely true. I've never seen someone who creates for engagement happy with the engagement they get. I posit they can't ever be happy that way because it will never be enough. My balcony blocks my view of the playground, but I heard one child yell, "I found a frog!" with a great deal of excitement, and now there is screaming, so I'm filling in some blanks. Situational update. A little girl screamed, "Leave him alone!" And now there's noises that sound suspiciously like a child getting wailed on by a wiffle ball bat. Further update. Parent has been called to the scene. Distribution of fault is underway. Bat appears to have been confiscated. Bat has been returned under the promise of not deploying it once more against brothers. The pause and, "But tell him to leave the frog alone," tells me it will likely come back into play shortly. As expected, Frog was bothered again, and Frog Warrior took up her weapon once more. All children are being collected to leave on charges of acting like y'all have no sense! Personally, I stand with Frog Defender on this issue. Hashtag justice for Frog Girl. I love that we're still learning shit about this world we're in. Spiders sing, fish chirp and enjoy tummy rubs, trees feed each other, mushrooms can talk, rats giggle, crows play games. If you leave a hamster wheel in the woods, mice will run in it. And despite all focus on the contrary, if you leave a handful of human beings alone with the opportunity to do good and be kind, they will. I love this fucking planet so damn much. New Yorkers can take a bite out of capitalism by munching on popsicles shaped like the heads of billionaires. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Jack Ma, Elon Musk, and Mark Zuckerberg near McCarran Park in Brooklyn. Wow. Yeah, you're really showing how much you hate capitalism by, checks notes, paying $10 for a fucking ice cream. Idiot. They gentrified eating the rich! Do Japanese people prefer dubbed American cartoons? Interview. English is better for this one. The Japanese translation feels off. We've come full circle! Oh my god! Fun fact, apparently there is a serious debate in Japan as to whether the King of the Hill sub or dub is better. This is something I never knew I was waiting my whole life to read. This is something I never knew I was waiting my whole life to read. Beep boop. I look for accidental haiku posts. Sometimes I mess up. A friend of mine tried to sell his soul on eBay, and the starter price was $10, and people were bidding on it, but before anything happened, eBay took it down and sent him an email explaining that if he was selling a soul that didn't actually exist, then it was against their policy. And if he was selling a real soul, then that is a human body part, and it is also against their policy. Well done, eBay, for solving that philosophical conundrum! If you censor anything in a post, you are legally required to put all of the omitted vowels at the end of a footnote. E-E-O-O. Okay then, if you're sure about this, Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. I'm going to shatter you like glass! The key to getting over imposter syndrome is to know everyone else is an imposter too. Tell yourself you deserve a stake in the scam they're all running. Excuse me, but this is fucking brilliant! Did you just cure imposter syndrome with spite? You can cure a lot with spite! Having a monarchy next door is a little like having a neighbor who's really into clowns and has daubed their house with clown murals, displays clown dolls in each window, and has an insatiable desire to hear about and discuss clown-related news stories. More specifically, for the Irish, it's like having a neighbor who's really into clowns, and also your grandfather was murdered by a clown. Several people shared this on Twitter, so I'm going to post it here. Absolutely astounding couple of sentences. Dishwashing affirmations. The dishes are more scared of you than you are scared of them. If you put on a little song, you can have a dishwashing party. Washing dishes is a great way to make new friends, e.g. frying pans, cups, etc. Despite any misinformation you may see online, a fork has never bitten anyone. They are gentle, even-tempered creatures that often just want to nap. My favorite kid I ever taught when I was a swim teacher was this little 4-year-old Italian boy. One time he sneezed and nobody said anything, so he just went, "What? No bless yous for Giacomo?" My roommate and I quote this all the time, but the name keeps warping more and more every time. No dinner for Gabiblio? No shower for John the Baptist? No gas station Slurpee for Jorbagoth? The most unrealistic thing about traditional fantasy as a genre is that if a bitchy little wizard came up to me with a "You are the chosen one, chosen to perform free heroic labor" spiel, I'd send that cunt packing and return to my personal mundane, but containing Wi-Fi and lacking deadly peril timeline. Thank ye very much. And yet, if the self-same message was delivered by a talking cat, absolutely an automatic acquiescence. No questions asked. Want to make a contract? I have never so instantly regretted a post. Takes away the letter R from you. Good luck writing now, idiot. Now. You think yourself clever? You think yourself bold? You think you can escape the curse? You can't. The curse always takes a victim. I will strangle you, you rascal! Accept the curse, or I will murder your sorry ass! Oh my god, it's so funny! Contrary to popular belief, George Lucas says Jedi are allowed to have sex. Jedi Knights aren't celibate. The thing that is forbidden is attachments and possessive relationships. Obi-Wan. The Jedi Council says marriage is a sin. Anakin. What about all your Grindr hookups? Obi-Wan. I'm not marrying them. Breaking. Jealous of all the attention the rest of the universe is getting with NASA's fancy new telescope, Jupiter puts on a little hat. Hubble captures vivid auroras in Jupiter's atmosphere. Extreme Jupiter in a tiny cowboy hat made of light voice. Howdy, partners! It's a yarmulke! Jupiter is Jewish! Pass it on! One of us! One of us! Jupiter. Jupiter! Jupiter has become Jewish! A series of unfortunate events is anarchist propaganda because all of the problems are caused by both capitalist bureaucracy and a weird insistence from everybody with power that the rules, no matter how silly, must be followed. I mean, partially, yes, for sure, but Daniel Handler has also stated that the series is a direct allegory for anti-Semitism. My father's family fled Germany in 1938 and 1939, and some of them made it, and some of them didn't. And so I grew up with a close-knit group of actually fairly distant relatives who were all survivors of, I mean, they weren't all survivors of camps by any means, but they were all survivors of getting out of Germany just in time. And I was fed by stories of how good behavior is not necessarily reward and bad behavior is not necessarily punished. So I think that shaped my worldview. I think there is something naturally Jewish about unending misery. Damn, this explains a lot. Some of you just don't know how to say, "Okay, I didn't know that. Sorry and thank you," to save your souls. Like, I can somewhat understand the defensiveness, but you gotta internalize the fact that you also sound painfully callous and dismissive, and if that's the hill you want to die on, Be my guest and die on it quickly. But if you care about your impact on others, you should learn to be considerate and self-aware. Being right is not as important as being decent. I'm not saying anything groundbreaking, like how is that not the bare minimum? I know it's 2 a.m. and nobody cares, but I am annoyed, TM. Does anybody ever feel when waking up in the morning as if you are some sort of ancient machinery covered in centuries of rust and plant matter, once again reactivated, with gears turning ever faster, rust being sheared off, the plant matter torn and shredded away, until the machine again runs as it once did? Or is that just me? I think you need a massage, dude. You got me there!